levels along our coastlines will rise by about 1 foot by 2050. That's according to a recent report from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. The nation's top sea level scientist is now warning there will be water in the streets unless communities take action. That puts hundreds of thousands of buildings at risk, including museums. CNBC's Diana Olick now in the race to save history as part of her climate series, Rising Risks.
Several stories below the Smithsonian's Museum of American History, in the bowels of the building, lie the front lines in the fight to save the nation's irreplaceable artifacts from climate change.
But there's water here already.
That's right.
And there's no rain for weeks.
No, but that's groundwater.
As director of Smithsonian Facilities, Nancy Bechtel is responsible for 13 million square feet of museum space, most on the Mall in Washington, D.C., which is below sea level, as well as 2 museums in New York City and 1 in Virginia.
We're always sort of pre-planning and sort of staging different emergency responses just to be prepared so that our staff is prepared and that we have the planning in place.
Worse than rising water is heavier rainfall, which seeped into Smithsonian spaces after a major storm in 2006 and again last spring.
We had probably about 18 inches to 2 feet of water in this cafeteria.
In fiscal 2021, the Smithsonian had a $214 million budget, and Bechtel is using as much as she can for protection. From putting up flood walls around buildings to rain gardens, sandbags, elevated backup generators.
And I'm going to raise it as high as I can.
To a whole new storage facility on higher ground in Maryland, expected to break ground this year.
Even if I have to protect with plastic, I will protect with plastic.
So you're saving history.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And Bechtel is not alone in the fight. New waterside museums in Miami and St. Petersburg, Florida, were built with special flood protections, and private funding is slowly starting to step up to protect older structures. The HELEN Frankenthaler Foundation committed $5 million over the next 2 to 3 years to invest in clean energy, energy efficiency, and climate resilience.
We got 110 applications. That was with just 6 weeks of notice. That 110 applications came in with people knowing exactly what to do and how they wanted to approach it.
So the foundation recently doubled it to $10 million. Now the largest private investment in climate resilience for museums and twice the funding of the National Endowment for the Humanities.
No, it's not enough.
But it helped the California Indian Museum implement wildfire protections for its structure, energy systems, and air filtration. This after the Getty Museum came dangerously close to destruction in the 2019 fires around LA and Malibu.
These collections do not depreciate over time. Guarding and protecting them for a long horizon into the future adds to their value to the museum and to the investors.
And that's why it is impossible to put a dollar figure on this risk, because it rises by the minute. Sutton noted that while art investors seem happy to outbid each other for the works, they are not investing nearly enough to protect those works. There are roughly 35,000 museums in America alone. Many of them are working to lower their climate footprints and become more energy efficient, but becoming more resilient against the effects of climate change is a far bigger investment.